Yes. Okay. So if you have any questions from the last class or any of the previous classes, you can let me know.
You have given some sample lambda function code. So I have one question where the suppose I am a new joinee and I need to test it line by line how the output is happening, and based on that I will be writing my code.
No debugger is there on Lambda to test it line by line. Just that is something not so very good on the cloud that you not have a proper debuggers. So you can
So
use the correct print statements. Uh, that's the only way that I can see. Okay, and this is for your Lambda code. Like if you're writing some Python code, then instead of using the these things, you can use the same Python codes on the line by line execution on the Jupyter notebooks. So in Lambda, at least I have never seen any line by line execution or something where we can place some breakpoints. So this is the code. I'll just take a backup of this. I hope you remember how to set up the trigger, how the trigger message look like. I'm just going to take it and use the language as JSON. No, sorry, Python. So this is what I have with me right now, and till here we have seen like importing libraries and building the event details. So if I again execute this or not, let's actually not do it. Which function? Okay, can go in config monitor, view CloudWatch logs. I'm just going to take it back to JSON length. Okay, I'll get it and change this language. I will set it up to JSON for this one. Okay, so we're good to go. Okay, and let me just do it like this. Remove it from here. Language Python. Yeah. So now as we can see, first of all, I have created the client of my S3. Like if you remember, I had created the client of my IAM service, and same way I have created the client of my S3 buckets. Okay, this means we're using this S3, this S3 line on line number 10, highlighted in the green. It is a variable. I could have called it S3 client, S3 get, or or any variable name in the world. I could have given that. So don't get it confused here. This S3 on line number 10 is a variable name that I'm creating for my client. Next, I have just printed one line initializing the backup process, like what we are doing. Before moving something into our target bucket, we are clearing that thing. So to clear, we will need two details. Okay, to clear, we will need the destination bucket name and we will need the file key, like which file I want to remove. This is going to be a file by file or object by object operation. So there's no way where we can say delete complete bucket. Okay, it has to be a file by file. Then for that, deleting the destination bucket details, I am getting my destination bucket from into like in this variable. I'm getting line number 12. I'm getting it here from the OS environment. This means if I come to my Chrome in my bucket, instantly inside the configuration, you can see I have environment variables option available, and this I have defined here destination bucket. I have defined at this bucket. Okay, this is one of the bucket that I have in my AWS account. So this bucket I'm referring for my destination bucket. I have used the environment variable just to show it to you. Okay, to easiness, you could have done it like as I have done on the line number 13. You could also say it like this. So this line number 12 here and line number 13 here is the same thing. So if I just comment this, still it is the same thing. Okay. So here I'm referring my variable from the OS environment variable, os.environment I have to say. Then I have to pass my variable name, or you can simply just provide your bucket name directly here, hard coded also. But sometimes in project they do not want to hard code, or they do not want to share their critical things like this in the code. So what we do, we create environment variables and we refer those using os.environment. For this, you will need to import OS libraries, which I have imported on the line number 3. This is the use case of OS library. Then I'm just for verification that whether I was able to get it correctly or not, I have printed my bucket name. Okay, so like this, I can get my destination bucket name from the environment variables. Second thing that I'm getting is source bucket. So source bucket is actually, let me just swap these files. Can I do it? Yes, I can. So source bucket I am getting from this thing. Like this is the source bucket name. This I am getting from the event that like this event itself is sharing me the bucket name, like from which bucket this has got triggered. So I'm getting this bucket name here like this. Now I want to access this particular bucket name. Okay, so do it. What I will do, so to get it, what I will do, I will simply say here in my code, if you can see, first of all, I'm referring event because this is the event, like this variable on line number 6, which has received the details from the event. So this is my event variable, and it has got this complex JSON, okay, complex dictionary actually. For let's see, understand this is a dictionary written. It's not a JSON file. I convert this into JSON for the readability purpose. If you remember, I had converted this single quotes into double quote just for the readability purpose. But eventually, it is a dictionary that is written by Python this 4-3 response. Now here, first of all, I'm saying event, and then if you see, if I just say I click, it's basically it's like this, event equals to. Okay, then next thing that I'm saying is from this event, what I want to get. So you can see there are layers, like records is starting from this position, event and some variables are at this position, and record is at the top, and then some variables are at this this position, and we have some more inside variables. So it's like this records is actually, if I click on here, you can see ending bucket is here on line number 36, which is highlighted in the red. This means this complete details are placed inside the records thing. So if you remember from the Python class, records is my key. Each and everything in the record is a values inside there. Now, what is the data type of record? If you remember, I said list are denoted by square brackets. So you can see this records is actually starting with the square brackets, and it is ending on the line number 36. So basically, this records is nothing but a list or list data type of Python. Okay, that's why I said say the data types is also crucial to understand in the Python if you want to work in the data engineering project on the clouds. So if you get this, record is nothing but a list data type. So what I'm saying here on my code, I'm saying event, then I want to access records. So I'm saying I want to access the records key. Okay, this records key is going to give me this complete record till here. Okay, then if you see my record is starting from this position, ending at this position, and if you see this is also starting from this position and it is ending at this position. This means it only has one item inside this records. Okay, records has only one item. All these things, all this information that you can see inside this curly braces is just the one more dictionary. As I mentioned, list can or list and dictionaries can be uh, complex and they can store any data type. Like first my dictionary is storing uh, first is my dictionary which is having records as a key. It is storing a list. Inside this list there's only one dictionary, and now this dictionary also has some many columns and values. So how I am going to access this particular bucket name that I'm actually explaining you. So what we are doing, again repeating, we are accessing event, that is a complete thing. Then I'm filtering it down to records. Then I'm filtering it down to 0 because list indexes starts from 0 and we only have the one item inside our list. How to verify? It's starting from here and ending on line number 36. That means it is the one item that we have. Then I want to access this name. Now name is inside the bucket. Okay, name is inside the bucket and bucket is inside the S3. So same way I have filtered it out again. So from 0 I'm saying S3. First I want to access S3. Like out of all these, this is event version, event source, like these are all on the same level. Same way S3 is also on the same level. It is basically after the records, it is inside the records. I am saying it is actually inside the record and basically it's inside the 0th index. Then I'm saying I want to access S3. After accessing S3, I'm saying I want to access bucket, and after accessing name bucket, I want to access name, and I'm saying name. So same way I have filtered here. Okay, you can see this line from event records, from records 0th index, from 0th index I want to refer S3, then bucket, then name. So this is the way I will get my source bucket name, and then I'm printing this source bucket name. Okay, now just one more example, then I will take a pause here. Okay, now this time if you see I am accessing file key. So where my file key is present, it is present in this is the my key. It is showing me from the inside input folder. This is the particular file that has triggered my lambda. So you can see it is again inside event records 0th index, then S3. Now instead of bucket I will come from S3 to object and from object to key. So same thing I am doing here, records 0th index, S3, object and key. Likewise, if you wanted to get the size of the file, you could say instead of key you could say size, and let's say you wanted to get the event time, like when this event was occurred. So what you will say, event records 0th index and event time, and make sure that these are, and just understand these are all case sensitive information. Okay, so do not spell this event time like you might have spelled this event time correctly, but if your T is small or if your E is capital, it is not going to work. You have to be with correct spelling and correct cases also. So likewise, if I want to add get the source IP address, I will say event records 0th index, then request parameter, then source IP address. Like that, you should be able to access all the information that you're getting inside this event. So now I will take a pause here, and before that, what I will do, I will just get these lines, copy, and I will just paste them here. You can refer them easily. Let me know if you have any doubts here.
So this JSON you copied from CloudWatch, but as a developer, I'm writing it first time. So
Sorry,
so
Versa, this time I can hear you, but your internet is actually, I think, breaking.
no. Now it's fine. Now
Yeah, try please.
okay. So this JSON you have copied from AWS CloudWatch, right? So suppose
Yes.
I'm writing it first time.
Mhm.
Now, I am not aware about the structure of the JSON at present since I'm writing it first time. So if I'm suppose printing an event and seeing the JSON of it, so I would be getting charged as normal as Lambda function in invocation, right?
Yes.
Like
So
it's no
every time you
different.
run the Lambda function, you're getting charges.
Okay. So even in development case also, uh, the same charges would be there for the lambda function invocation.
Exactly. Exactly. And just one more thing, this response, the response that you are seeing from the Lambda event, it's it's the static one. Like static means its values can change, but its way of getting the data will not change. Like this line of code which I have here, it's always true. Okay, whenever you want to get a bucket name from the this event of S3, it's always same. I just explained it this much because it is necessary to understand, because today it is S3 event, tomorrow it could be a different event in a complex JSON format. So you guys should be able to crack that JSON. Okay, you should be able to move deeper inside the JSONs by understanding it, so too you can get any of the data that you want. Like right now for S3 event it's fine, it could be a DynamoDB event, it could be a Kinesis event, it could be any event, it could be it could be an event from the some REST API. So you should be able to understand those things. So that's why I could have easily said that this is a way to, this is the code to get the source bucket name. And it's true. Like even if you run this from on your code, if you go in production real time, any code in the world, it's the same thing. But we should understand like what we are doing here.
Then, sorry, what is the file key here?
It is this object and then key. So basically what happens, like when I created this event, so what we are doing, just to get if you remember, we come inside the S3 and which bucket I have configured. It is data engineer 9. So if I just go inside here, type 9. So this is the bucket that I have configured. Okay, and from this input folder I move this demo saved.csv. So the information comes in this format. Okay, in this format, like your bucket name is this bucket name, then the key of the file. Okay, the key of the file, like demo save.csv, and it is inside the input folder. This information is captured inside this key variable.
Okay, so when this file is moving to one folder to another folder, the Lambda event will trigger. Yeah.
Yeah, so if I give you the correct use case of this now, so what happens in real time? Let's say you have created a glue job, okay, and now you want to run a glue job when the source file of that job is available with you. So what you will do, you will set a trigger like this. Okay, what we do actually in real time is set up some triggers like this. Let's say input folder, and whenever the file comes inside this, I will start my lambda function, and
Yeah.
then lambda function will take my bucket name and which file it has been triggered, and accordingly it will trigger my glue job. And we can also pass this information like this file has been requested a trigger, or like those things we will actually see when we go on the glue functions, glue jobs. But yeah, if you get an idea, like file based events, when we say it is these events, whenever you want to start the pipelines based on some whenever a file arrives and you want to start some processing after that, it could be a glue job, it could be a lambda, it could be just I mean anything it could be that you can start with this process.
Okay. So the file name should be static here because normally in the real time the file may not be static, like should be snapshot underscore date time something like that. So because we are given a fixed name over here, so does it create any impact or something like
No, see,
yeah.
this name we have not provided this name. Okay, This name came from this thing. If I upload one more different file, that name will come here.
Oh, really? Okay. Right.
So, I mean, like this file name will change, its size will change, e tag, version ID, like all these details will be modified as per that file.
All right. I have like a small question. So if the
Yes.
bucket has suppose like 2 or 3 files, okay, but
Mhm.
when the glue job intend to move one of the particular file to some source folder to some target destination folder. So in that case, how apparently this particular file will be like eventuate to the lambda trigger because there are multiple files, right? How it will be distinguished?
No, no, no. So whenever like if you see, I have already have bucket policy.js, but it is not been mentioned in this particular event. So only the files, this particular files information will be passed on. Okay, not the complete. All these files will be passed on. It is
Okay.
just one file's information is actually getting passed. The one which arrived latest. If I just move this file, then I will get this file's detail. And
No,
basically, if you see this, yes, please.
what I'm saying is if suppose that bucket contain already like 2 or 3 files, okay, then I just made a trigger on that particular folder, lambda trigger. So
Okay.
so in that case, the lambda should look into that all the 3 files, or like what just the latest file which came only, it will just keen to look on that particular file only.
No, it will only keen to look on that particular file, the latest file which is coming. Now, you may have the requirement like whenever a single file comes inside this folder and read
Yeah.
all the files inside the glue. So that can be actually coded. That will have to take in the coding part. Okay. But the
Okay.
question that you're saying, let's say I have 10 files here and then I say I get the 11th file, then only
Hmm.
that 11th file information will be passed in this event.
Okay, okay. So it will just, omit that existing 10 files then.
Exactly. It's an event. It's an event. Until
Yeah.
unless any create or move operation happens, it is like it's worthless for this.
Right, right, right. Okay. So even we can just give some integration with SNS, XQS, all these things, the email triggerance, right? Something.
That
Uh,
we can do it.
yeah, probably I think covered it next classes, I believe.
Yeah. I mean SNS I'm going to cover in the glue part. Yeah. But you can definitely cover with Lambda also.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you see this process, like right now, I actually created very generic code. Okay. That means you have the examples of reading the environment variables. You have the examples of reading some, information from the events. Then you have the example of deleting some object. Then you have the example of copying some object. And then that's all actually. Like in different code, I have example of creating new object on the buckets. So if you take these codes and if you modify these codes according to your work, you can achieve many of the tasks. Like let's say when I got this trigger hit in this bucket, like when I file gets in this bucket, and you process that file and you want to move that file into some different folder. Like right now I'm moving all the files. You could have just get that particular file name and you can move that. So some modifications, some customizations, and then all the syntaxes, all the logics you actually have it here. Okay, so yeah, if you have any more questions.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Uh, how does it work in real time? I mean, suppose if I'm trying to do invocation 10 to 15 times and I would be getting billed. So how does this work in real time? I would be getting some kind of email or some kind of not to do checklist or something like that.
See, okay, most of the cloud projects, whether they are AWS or Azure, they do care about their billings, but they don't scrutinize like this, that you have executed a Lambda function 10 times, because Lambda is not charging you in U dollars. So if you see Lambda pricing, obviously don't remember these things, just understand how they are priced. Okay. If you see its pricing configuration, it should be somewhere here. It is this much of price. So 1 million request, or it's going to charge this much dollars. That means if I say in Indian rupees, it's around 25 rupees. So they are getting charged, like you are getting charged for Lambda functions, but not too heavily also. Like obviously no one in real time is going to say like why you have run the Lambda function 10 times or 12 times or 50 times, because in real time when I write my glue codes, I do get some syntax error, I do get some logical issues, I do get some exceptions, I do get, maybe it's not it's working perfectly, but I'm not getting correct output. So I do run those things over and over again. So that is not where you have to think, or think about the pricing. Pricing factor or optimizations comes into the play when you do completely wrong use cases of the tools. Like you use Lambda for ETL process, that is the waste of money. Or you use AWS glue jobs just to print some data, that is a waste of money. Okay, that is called waste of money. Not developing and making something is not called a waste of money. Okay, so just understand the thing. You can execute this function as many times you want. I mean, if you are really with bad luck, and if your managers are so scrutinized that they are checking your run, then I don't know, nobody can help you actually. It's just your bad luck.
Okay, sure.
So, Jalaj, I think since you raised the pricing, I have a small question on that. So, I create an file notification event on certain, if suppose a file arrives in source the folder of S3, and it will just alert to the glue, so that the glue will run and move to the target destination. So it's a kind of a data ingestion. So the suppose X lambda function, I mean X lambda event has been triggered. So daily, suppose like 10 times has been triggered. Okay, the same lambda, it has been triggered 10 times due to like different source file entries. Okay, so and also another lambda, another 2 3 lambda functions are there. So their kind of functionality might be different. So that is also triggered some 1 or 2 times. So here the pricing depend upon a lambda function triggered multiple times, or like n number of lambda functions has been created and using it.
It's an end-to-end actually. So if you just go here,
Okay.
for these things, you can just create your custom estimates now. Just click on this link. A rough calculation you will get here. Okay, a rough calculation.
Okay,
Not too rough.
because first time we are creating and we are using multiple times, the service using multiple times, because some tools or some kind of components where the creation will take care, because we can, once it's created we can use multiple times, something like that. I believe so. That's what
Yes.
I
Wait. So it is, as I said, it's an into time. So if you have 10 lambdas and then 10 times each, then it's 100 time execution. It will be
Okay.
counting. Okay. So let's say just for an example of a pricing calculator. So let's say we are without free tier. Okay. Right now we are in free tier. It's not going to charge until you create the recursive function. But
Yeah.
let's say I choose a region here. Okay. Let's say Ohio I'm getting here. Then architecture I'm using at 66. So let's say amount of requests, let's say I get 100 requests, 1000 requests per month.
Yeah.
Okay, and duration of each lambda runs, like this lambda runs around 5 seconds. So you can say, let's say it runs 60 seconds. Okay, let's say it runs 60 seconds. Let's take the maximum amount of memory that we are allocating to our lambdas. Let's say we are allocating 500 MB. Right now my lambda is on 128 MB only, some
Yeah.
minimum. Then let's say if I'm only storage, like instead of 500 MB, I use, or let's say I use 3000 MB. Okay. Then I can hit on show calculations. And this is the rough amount I'm getting.
I don't need £2. Okay.
Oh, and if you add all these things, I should have got the, yeah, it's actually the save and view summary. Who add cons, my estimates.
I think you have selected the free tier. That's why it's coming 0.
Just a second. If I hit back here, oh, I think it's free tier for without free tier, no? Sorry, this one. So if I just say same configurations again, thousands, and let's say 60 seconds, and let's say 1000 MB, and here I'll say, let's say if I give 3000 MB, okay, and if I just show calculations again, no, this is wrong, this is wrong. If I just come down, show details, save and view summary, again it's saying free. But you get it, like it's not too heavily charged, so you should have got like $10 or $12.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of estimates you will get. And obviously, like nobody cares. Like if you should have got the bill of $1,000 and you getting $1,100, $1,200, nobody will care in the real time. Okay, but if you make $1,000 to $200,000, $300,000, like if you just double or triple the amount, then it's an issue.
So the pricing is for a number of repeated requests as well as the new events as well, both. Yeah.
Exactly. So see, like this is I have created. Okay, every time I run this function, I'm getting some amounts charged.
Yeah.
It might be minimal. It might be minimal. Yeah, but some amount I have to pay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I will move ahead with my code. Then basically I'm just applying a for loop on my list objects. List objects, like we were saying, list users. It's going like I'm just passing my destination bucket here inside the bucket information. Okay, and list object is going to list all the objects that I have inside this particular bucket. Okay, and its contents I'm interested in. Okay, so let me just do it list object one more time for you to make it understand better. So what you can do, list objects, go to free, and if you see this is the request syntax here. Bucket is only the required variable, and same thing I'm using. Then if you see the response syntax, this is my response syntax. Okay, I'm not interested in the first three things. I'm not interested in the last few things. I'm only interested in my content. So that's why I'm saying list objects using this destination bucket and give me information about contents, and store all these things in the obj variable. I'm calling this object, but it's spelled as obj, so that's why I'm saying store all this information in the obj variable. That means I'm storing all these contents in my obj variable, and from that I'm just taking key. So if you can see, from this obj I am taking key and storing that in the file key. Okay, so what it is going to do, it's going to list all the objects, all the keys that I have inside this current bucket, and it's going to say print currently deleting the bucket file key. Like each and every file key I will get, and it's going to start deletion. For deletion, I just have to say delete object. After delete object, I have to pass my bucket. Like in this bucket, I have to pass destination bucket I'm passing, then I have to pass my key, which I'm passing as a file key. That means this particular for loop is going to delete my files in my destination bucket. This means I'm going to clear my bucket before doing the copy process. Okay, So understand it one more time. I am listing the buckets. I am taking this bucket's information from the destination bucket that I got from the my environment variables. This bucket, this variable name bucket has to be case sensitive. Like B has to be capital, rest everything has to be small. Don't make it a small b. Then I am just referring to my contents, and I'm going to store all these things one by one in obj. From this I'm just interested in the key because I need, see, for deletion I need two things. I need my bucket name, I need my key name. Okay, if I just pass one key name, then it's going to delete the one key, but I'm interested in deleting or clearing the complete bucket. That's why I have looped around all of the objects inside my bucket and deleted those one by one. And if you see here, this also has the like if I just show you this delete object. Uh, it does have a prefix also, if I'm not wrong. Delete object, objects, object, MFA. Okay. It just deletes object. Okay, this is pretty interesting. Not interested in the. Or if I just come back here, S3, and then I will go inside. I will look to find. Wait. I will interested in finding delete object. Is this one, I think. Okay. Okay, so basically, I think we can actually prefix this also. That means you can say instead of deleting the complete kit, you can just say delete it from this particular path or this particular folder, and basically you can do it by coding only. So okay, I will look for that one. What is that? It's actually from just only should have here. I should have a prefix option. Okay, but I will find it out for you. Okay, don't worry about that. I will find out how to delete object with some prefix. But yeah, our thing of understanding like this is the code to delete the complete thing. Okay, and basically without using the delete objects prefix, you can also you know, keep it down if by saying if condition, if file key. Okay, you can say something like this, dot contain, say it like this, and you can just say folder name. Let's say do you want to delete from this input folder, and if this line is true, only in that case your delete object is going to work. Okay, like if your file key contains input, only in that case your files are going to delete it. Like only from the input folder it's going to delete the file. But there's also a way to provide a prefix here that I'll find it out and get back to you. But yeah, if you have any questions in this for loop, let me know. Okay. In that case, yeah, we'll move ahead. See, same thing which I have done here, you know, listing my files inside the bucket, and I have deleted those. And here I am listing my files using list object, same list object which I have used here. And this time of destination bucket, I have provided my source bucket name, and I am saying from this files, like see, here I have done it on a single line. I listed my objects and I you know, kept it to contents only. And this same process I have done in two lines, like listing the objects, storing its detail in the files variable, and the files variable I'm referring to contains only and storing it in object variable, and then from object just using the same thing as a key and printing the current key. Okay, this code is actually duplicated, so you can remove this or just command this. Okay, and then I am just passing my source bucket. Okay, copy source I have to create it, and it's this format. You have to pass the bucket name and the key name, like what you want to copy. Then, like say I will get my bucket name. Okay, I will get my key name. Then I will just paste copy one of the files. Okay, like I'll just provide my copy source, which is this one on line number 45. You can actually remove it from here. Okay, then I have my bucket information that is coming from the destination bucket. That means where I want to copy it. Okay, then I have my key. This time it is like what name I want to give on my destination bucket. So if you want to use the same name as the source name, then you can just keep it file key, or if you want to assign, like say if you want to assign some extra thing after that or extra thing before that. So if I just say in double quotes, if I say double quotes and target, then I say plus. Okay, so it means on all of the files, whatever the name there, like whatever the file names there are on the source bucket, a target is going to be appended at the start of my key at the destination bucket. If I don't give this target, then my source bucket name, file names and my target file names are going to be same. Okay, then I have one more setting, server side encryption equals to AES 256. This is a kind of an optional setting, but I just wanted to give it to you because if you remember in the S3 class, we have provided a condition. That condition was saying that we should only have encrypted files on our S3 bucket. So if you have an S3 bucket in your real time, and if that is having some that kind of policies where you should have only encrypted files, sorry, where you will only get uploaded to your encrypted file, then to copy also you should have encrypting your file. This means basically the file that you're trying to copy to your destination is going to be encrypted by AES 256. That means SSE S3 encryption it is going to use. Then I'm simply printing the message that this particular file is copied. So if you have any questions in this block or even in the upper block, you can let me know. Basically, we are listing the objects. We are getting the required information like a bucket name, file name. File name we are getting one by one using the for loop, and then one by one we are copying the object. So that's how I'm finishing my cleaning of the bucket and copying of the bucket objects into the output folder. So you can let me know if you have any doubts here.
So your source bucket is coming from environment variable, right?
No, my destination bucket is coming from environment variable. My source bucket is coming from this. This is the name.
Yeah, so there is name. Okay, name is the variable for that, but how come it's changing to source bucket?
I have modified it now. See, when I'm receiving it,
Oh, you rename. Correct. Yeah. Okay.
So basically what you do is now, like we have the complete Lambda handler on the one page. Try to go through this complete function line by line and ask me questions.
Jalaj, are you going to execute this code in?
Yes.
Oh. Just I want to see how we are creating the file name, that records, and what we are giving. I would like to see the step by step.
So see, step by step, this code will not work. It's going to execute it one time here, but you can see the output logs.
No, like the file key when we are creating on line 18. So what will provide for the records, and what will provide for the object, and what will provide for the key? I would like to see the details.
Yeah, that is possible.
I can't hear you, Jalas.
Yeah, I said that is possible.
Okay.
Just take a minute or two, try to go through these lines and then I'll execute this code.
Sure.
I have one question. Line number 27 to 30. So every like for while doing, suppose today one invocation has done, tomorrow again second invocation is going to happen. Then for every run, it is clearing the destination.
Yes, see, that's what I said. You can restrict this to folders, or you can restrict this to file, or you can also say, like, if you just want to delete the current file, then you can just say only this line you can take without the for loop. So you see, this is the example code. OK, you can modify it as per your requirements. And that is what you guys should practice. Try to just read one file and copy one file on the destination. Try to delete one file, try to delete a file from the folders, try to copy from the files from the specific folders, try to move some files, or do some permutation combination and practice this. You have all the syntax necessary that you need for these activities.
Jealous, this particular script is just reading from the source bucket and getting the file names and copying to the destination folder, right?
Yes.
But so why we need to clear the bucket actually? Like, what is the necessity over here?
See, that's what I said. There's no necessity for this. Okay.
Okay, okay.
I just wanted to give you how to delete the files, how to copy the files, how to
Right,
pick the
right.
files.
Oh, just for awareness. Okay.
Yes. I'm not saying this is a real-time use case or you should do it in the real time. I'm just saying you can
Yeah.
modify this code as per your requirements.
Okay. Right. Uh, so suppose okay. So this suppose we are not clearing the bucket. Okay. So if you suppose if you 26 to something around 30th, yeah, 30th, yeah. If you just comment that, so normally what happen, I mean, every time we trigger getting the details and copying to the destination bucket. Suppose now the same file is there, in the source bucket again on the next day. So that does it, overwrite?
It will overwrite.
Okay, right.
So again, if you remember the concept of versioning,
Yes, yeah.
okay. So if you have versioning enabled, then it's going to overwrite, but it's going to maintain the previous versions. If you don't have versioning enabled, then it's simply going to overwrite, and you are going to lose the access to
Like
previous versions.
existing ones. Okay, yeah. So here in this script, we can enable, or just when we creating that bucket, we will define anyway. That's enough.
No, in this script, you have no option of that. While creating the bucket, you can enable that, or after creating the bucket also, you can enable the versioning.
Yeah.
Only the object lock is the feature that you cannot enable after creating the bucket. That is, you can only create at the time of creation of the bucket, not after that.
Okay, right.
So every time we have to run the scripts, or is there any like auto compilation, like automatically it will run the script where we will mention the auto run or auto
No.
compile?
See, that's what I'm saying. Every time you move the file, it's going to run.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can go for next part.
Okay, so I'm just going to execute this for you. Okay. So I'm just going to come here. I haven't modified any changes into my code. I will just no. Back up to S3. I need to open. I will just come inside the S3 bucket. So you can see I'm not triggering my code from here. I will just, let's say this time I just move the bucket policy JSON. OK. And I'm going to say move. Okay. Move means I'm just, moving my file in the same folder. Choosing the destination, that means the same file I'm cutting and pasting in the same folder. That is going to generate a copy event for me. OK. You can see in the same bucket, in the same folder, I am moving my file. I'll just simply come down and say move. Now you won't be able to see any execution results on the this code or test part, OK, because it's automated run by a trigger. You will have to come on the CloudWatch. Here I will just move back to my log. And if you see, one new log stream has been created now on 21:54 of Indian time on the 8th May. Like right now, this has been executed. And this is my complete logs, and you can see these logs like this. Like first I printed my events. OK, that event I got it here. Then you can see my destination bucket name I just printed here. My bucket name I printed here, source bucket name. Then I got this particular key. Okay, and then source bucket name is this. After that I am saying I have applied my for loop. And it says it's deleting these objects. So few of the objects it has deleted from the target folder. Then it says starting the copy process. Okay, reading the data from this particular bucket or the source bucket. Then I have this data and I'm saying file is copied. Like I'm saying current file. If you see my code here, this is where I'm saying my current file, wherever it is, where it is. Yeah, no, this is currently deleting object. I should have a current. Yeah, it is here. Current file is, and then I'm printing the file name here. You can see current file it's printing, and then it's saying file is copied. Then it's saying file name is copied, like that. You can see multiple entries. OK, and this has successfully copied all of my files from source bucket to target bucket, and target bucket it has cleared before doing that.
We copied JSON file, right? But current file is something it's different.
No, wait. We use JSON file to trigger this thing. Then whatever is there in my source bucket, I'm copying all of those. So if you see the key name here is OK, the key name that I'm getting, or if I just scan this event. I said I'm not moving only the one file, I'm moving the complete files.
Yes.
I need to use JSON lint if you forgot this. JSON lint. This time my file name is bucket policy JSON. This is a file name which has triggered this process. But process says move, delete all the files and move all the files.
Yeah.
So actually, before you ask any questions, I am just going to share this code with you. Or I have already shared it with. I think I have already, but nonetheless.
When we are moving manually the file from the one folder to other folder or within the folder, it won't depends on the Lambda function, right?
No. Right. This one is to create the automated process. So this one is like whenever you have the real time. See, I will say real time requirement. When you get the file, you start your glue job. After starting the glue job, you will like to move that file to some other place for the backup, and you will like to clear your landing zone. So we have these landing zone buckets and input zone buckets just to receive the files, start the process, and move those files back. So for those kind of operations, or where you want to like manually you can also do, but let's say you want to automate this process. Let's say you're getting 1,000 files a day and you want to create the backup of those files. So you have the option of versioning, but let's say you want to create the backup in different bucket, then you can use this type of coding. So requirement and use cases might vary slightly, and according to that, you can vary this code also. So right now I am sharing two codes with you. I think I have already shared. If I'm not actually getting that correct completely. So two codes, like same code which I have shown you, wake up with trigger and wake up without trigger. Only slight difference is there. Let me just send this. Okay. I missed to hit the send. If I just open this file from this one. Yeah, without trigger, if you just see this file, it says it's like this is the process of simply copying the data. OK, I'm not doing any delete or anything. I'm just getting my destination bucket, getting my source bucket from the environment variables only. You can hard code this also, just directly provide your bucket name here, and I'm doing my copy process. It's the easiest code. That one is with the triggers. This is without triggers.
And there is one small thing. I mean, I think this is you are not responsible. So because you are giving a lot of support by sharing many of the files, scripts, and some PPTs, something. So I'm just wondering, like, does this will be copied to our drive, or like we should manually download or keep it in ourselves?
See, Ganesh will be doing it on regular basis. That he's going to take the recordings and codes, and he's going to share it on the drive. But I'll say on safer side, you can also create your thing already.
Recordings I can see, but not the files or something. I'm not sure. Like I haven't seen in my drive.
He will actually move it, but that's what I'm saying. Keep it like you can also start creating your folders on local machines. That will be some better option. He will do it. Eventually, he will do it. Rest assured, he will do it. But I'm saying just take a backup also.
Okay, because a couple of sessions I have missed actually because due to some not well sick. So whatever you have shared, I remember like by going through this recording, I think you have saved some files. So how can I get this? So this will be saved under this particular Skype chat or history?
Yes. It will be saved. It will be saved.
Oh really? Okay.
I think it should be there. You can see all the recordings, see this is my files, the capacity files. I already have shared it here.
With the trigger, I think we did not.
With the trigger,
I think okay, maybe I might have missed it to share, but yeah. If I have shared, it will be there.
No, we haven't get that one with trigger.
Yeah, you can see all the Python nodes are still there.
Okay, yeah, cool. Probably safe side. We should better download all these things.
Yeah. See, anyhow, you can just drop me a message. I have these codes with me. I can email it to you. That is also third option is also there. So eventually we'll get all these materials.
Yeah, thanks, Alesh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, IAM key expiry check is the with the trigger?
No, that is without trigger. That is something you can schedule.
Janesh, could you please share that code for with trigger?
I have shared it now.
No, without trigger you shared now, right? Again, you shared that same thing without trigger.
Seriously, I selected both the things. Sorry.
It's not there with the trigger.
I selected both the files. If I remember, I don't know what happened. Do you have it now? Yes. 3 file without trigger.
Again,
See, I think it is this.
No, it is also without trigger, right?
How come it is? How come it is this?
No, for me it's just without trigger only. With trigger it haven't appeared.
Okay, let me just rename this slightly. What is happening this? Rename backup, or let's backup and then open files and send. It goes away. If I say it like this, use this. Seriously?
No, your text is getting appeared for us, but not the actual file.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Okay, let's do it like this. Copy Gmail. It's going to ask me for notification if I'm not wrong. Yeah, just let me get my phone. Not now. Okay. Or maybe you can type your email IDs here. But this is really, really weird. That particular file is not going. Oh, wait a second. It's a 0 KB file. Why it is 0 KB file? Just a second. Huh? Because it is empty. Just a second. Just a second. I think I know what's happening here. I just take this code. Just a second. If I just, and then if I say Skype, and then if I say open this and share it, it appears. Sorry, my bad. It was a empty file. You all get it now?
Yeah, we got it.
Sorry, my bad. Okay, so yeah, that's all from today. If